What's up, guys? It's Carboss here. Another video. Today is April 1st, April Fool's Day. Nothing funny about today's video. It's all serious stuff. As per the title, the NBA card market is going bonkers of late. And I mean, the card prices has really gone to places that I didn't really expect this soon. And what I meant is, I believe those who were around during the pandemic when the prices were really gone crazy back then, due to free money, last dance, and all sorts of other reasons, right? Have Jordan's PSA 10 1986 Flair going at 700,000, and of course things came crashing down in year 2022, 2023, and people are saying that all these highs will never ever come back again. Okay, maybe will 5 years, 10 years perhaps, okay, but we are just roughly about 2 years removed from that, and now we're starting to see the prices to climb to levels that we didn't expect it to be this soon. Okay, and I meant these are not just going back to where they were in the highs. These are actually breaking some form of records, all-time highs. Okay, and I'm not just talking about Jordans or Kobe's or LeBron's. Okay, it's also affecting a lot of the current players who are still actively playing as well. But of course, I believe you can attribute that to the season coming to the final quarter of the season. We're heading to the playoffs, and it's quite normal at this time to see the players who are in contention and the prices for those players are going on super spikes. Who am I referring to? Of course, I'm referring to OKC's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Obviously, his prices are insane. His NT-RPA keeps on setting new records. Recently, his Prism Gold number 10, 2018, set all-time highs as well. So that's no doubt one of the hottest players around. The funny thing was, when I was in Hong Kong last year in December, just when the season started, I had a 15-year-old kid came up to my table. And he had a Shai NT-RPA number 99. The true RPA was a BGS 9. Obviously that's a huge card for a 15-year-old. And back then, he was saying that it's worth to him. He got it for 15K. I was wondering, what does a 15-year-old boy have? Get $15,000. And he said that he traded a bunch of his Pokemon cards, which also appreciated in value. Swap for it. And I asked him whether he was interested to sell. I said, maybe I'm just gonna wait for him to become MVP, and cash in. At that point in time, season was just pretty early. Just laughing inside. Well, today I believe that kid has got the last laugh right now. That NT-RPA is probably worth 3x easily, where it was back in December. And that's where card prices are today, right? The top players or the top teams, the players on the top teams that's heading into the postseason. Of course, not all players are, that hitting all sorts of strides. You look at Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, prices on them, hasn't really moved that much. But the other young players, the ones that people, I don't expect these players to win a championship this year, but they do have a lot of hype. They do have a lot of optimism. They do have a lot of fans as well, referring to Cade Cunningham of Detroit Pistons, Amen Thompson of the Houston Rockets, Sengun, I think to some extent, seeing some upticks on all the prices for these guys. Try and test the players, Stephen Curry, Jokic, Luka, LeBron. You don't write these guys off as well. The ones that I'm looking that's actually going down, so maybe it's Jason Tatum, surprisingly, even though Boston's doing well. Memphis, Ja Morant, he's out at the moment. They just changed the coach, but it's funny that a team doing this well, but card prices still remain a bit low. I wouldn't say it's low. It's still high, but it's not going upwards on a crazy trend. Whereas everybody else is. You talk about Jordans as well and 90s inserts. These are going wild at this moment. Some of the recent transactions and exquisites. The exquisites are just really, really roaring in terms of prices. I think that whoever were buying the exquisites in early part of this year did have a good foresight, because there was a lot of exquisites that was being presented into the market early into the season, and it's a normal cycle, I believe, in the NBA card market, where before any season begins, everybody's pretty optimistic on the players who are going into the season. As usual, especially the players who did very well last year, like Luka, Anthony Edwards. So people are cashing in some of the 90s stuff, or the exquisites, some of the those kind of stuffers, to cash in, to load up on the current players before the season begin. So now that kind of like I wouldn't say the non-contention, but the players who are obviously a bit flatline at the moment as they're going to the postseason, where the chances of them winning the chip is a bit lower. They are recashing back all these cards, and turn them back into the 90s inserts and the exquisites, which is why that we see some of the crazy prices, on some of the major auction houses, on Goldin, on the Finance Collect, as well as Alt. And don't forget, we talk about some of the big cards that was recently sold in auction, right? The one-of-one logo man on Wemby, as well as we have a bunch of other sets. Also recently a 2003 LeBron exquisite sold for over 1.1 million as well. So lots and lots of money funneling back into the older cards, which is very expected at this point of the season. But one thing I do notice that's happening a lot lately, that's not being talked about, is a lot of consolidation is happening at the moment. People who are consolidating their collections, maybe they have a bunch of cards that's worth $5,000, $2,000 each, and they're all moving to big cards. And that's why some of these bigger cards, they're talking about cards that's in excess of $50,000. So lots of logo mans that's coming up. We had a Kobe logo men that just recently sold on Goldin Elite, and then we had a Steph Curry logo man as well. We had a LeBron logo man as well, recently. So lots of logo mans of late being moved. So I believe there's a lot of consolidation happening at the moment. I think that if you follow my channel, I talk about one particular service, a card funding service by Wolf Sports Cards, as well as Fund My Cards. I think these are the catalysts at assisting collectors to consolidate the positions into some of the bigger cards that previously they felt that was pretty out of reach. But given that some of the prices of some of the cards has gone up, the 90s inserts, if they're holding on to some of them, holding on to some of the shays, so they may have taken opportunity to buy into some of these big cards. And because they have a lot more ammunition and firepower to buy into these cards, and they're willing to go above the distance just to lock in those cards. I've seen that happen, like the Kobe 1997 Essential Credentials, that closed up all-time high, $69,000 for a PSA 8. That's insane. I was bidding on it. I didn't expect to cross 60K. I went up to 60K and I still got outbid to 69, and that shows it's not like everybody has like 60 grand in their pocket all good to go. It's likely a lot of consolidation happening, positioning themselves to obtain a grail, such as that essential credential. I think that's a bunch of these things, consolidations are happening in the market at the moment to move into huge cards. But honestly speaking, I'm one of them as well. I recently just moved a bunch of 2 huge cards in my collection. I'm not going to talk about it now. The transaction is not done yet, but I've just chased down my first 6-digit card grill I'm not sure it's a grill, but this is a car that caught my eye for the longest time, and I'm super stoked that once the deal completes, something that I've been wanting to add to the portfolio for the longest time. I'm going to share that with you guys soon enough. So that's my take on this. If you guys were expecting me, to go crazy and start, shouting and, just blasting about why the car market is insane at this moment, like some people are hyping up, I'm not the kind that hypes up the market. I'm just looking at this, surveying the situation and just realizing that, market's doing well at the moment. Okay, it's in a good place. I don't think there's any hanky-panky around. I don't think there's any I see people throwing around free money. It's not the time. Everybody has a lot of excess cash. I think that people are just making some moves at the moment. Of course, taking opportunity of some of the players doing well. Demand for certain cards at the moment, like the 90s inserts, are pretty strong and pretty high. So people who are seeing the profits are taking the profits off the table, and they are refunneling the profits into some of these bigger cards where previously it was unattainable. But because it is now, and they're actually using house money or using their excess profits to buy into this thing, just willing to go the distance. Pretty sound strategy, if you ask me. It's something that I will do as well, and I think that this is going to continue until when we reach to the end of the season. That's when a lot of the current players car prices will slow down a bit as we get to the off season. I would see a reduced activity in terms of some of the bigger stuff, talking about something that's a 6-digit cards during off season. But of course things are going to start all over again in about maybe 5 to 6 months from now. Alright, that's it. Just a short update on this one, the 1st of April. I didn't want to do a video, didn't expect to do a video actually today. I'm just getting ready for my next podcast guest. I hope you guys are enjoying that series. I got a couple more friends lined up to have a chat on their perspective of the hobby. Okay, like, subscribe, follow this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Till the next one. Couples out.